blah blah, RC Lab, blah blah cars. Started with this one here. We don't really need this body. What we wanted was this chassis, and then we're going to put a K12 March body on top of that. Someone's joked that you need to do a gas-powered one, and I said, funnily enough, now this is just awesome, isn't it? Like, that's such good condition, and carefully built, like well maintained and everything. Yes, it's masking tape. Oh, there was a receiver in here once. Did I steal that? Oh, look, it's still got batteries. Note how I pronounce that word correctly. A lot of people can't these days. This is special. I'm pretty sure the wires for the throttle servo have been, there might be solder on there. There's definitely masking tape on there. So it's only, you know, it's nothing horribly important. Just the throttle for a gas-powered radio-controlled car, and if that sticks it whichever way wide open is, that's never going to end badly, is it? There won't be any problems. I'm sure there won't be any problems if that happens. How do you get the battery pack out of here? Oh, look, it's broken. Oh dear. No doubt they'll be in terrible condition in there. Looks like you have to tear the car to pieces to get the battery pack out of it. That's awesome, isn't it? I don't know. So there is this. Now, that's the wrong wheelbase for that, but it might be the right wheelbase for the March bodies that are on their way here at some point in time. Yeah, gas power's nuisance, right? So I would imagine the best thing to do to it would be to convert it to EV. Convert it to battery. So we'll do a gas powered EV conversion, perhaps. That might be beyond what I'm doing with the saw paw, which is slightly aggravated today, I think, but never mind. So I put that together. You saw that in the previous video. That's had some runtime around the lounge. That's all good. And now the Manta Ray is assembled as well. There's no steering servo in that. I'll probably go and see Nathan and we'll get a steering servo for it. I don't think we'll bother with the rest of it. It's not going to be a runner at this stage anyway. So I didn't put any oil in the shocks because it's not going to be a runner. So it's just going to be a shelf queen. I'll get some stickers on there. Like I said, we've got this whole silver theme going on here. Oh, that reminds me, I need to get a new body for the Clodbuster, and we'll try and do a like the Nissan March sort of colour schemes. But both of these, realistically, if we're doing that, I've screwed them up. They actually need a black wing on the back of them, but that's all right. I'll go and see Nathan. I mean, there might be something that you can buy off the shelf that's kind of similar to the GT wing type thing on the back of the March. And that's it. That is all that has happened today. Do you want some full-sized car content? The real car? You all said yes. Well, someone said yes, I'm sure. I tested this. I had a customer and a neighbour turn up, and I tested this to see how strong it is. We'll get a general idea at least. Now, it is strong enough that I can hang off. It's a bit hard with one bung paw, so I was using kind of my arm on it like this in my left hand. I can hang off the middle of this. I'm 90 kgs, 95 according to the scales with all my gear on. And it didn't break, and I was focusing the load all in one point. And likewise, we applied quite a lot of load out here, right on the extremity, far in excess of what it's going to see in the real world, I believe. Put a 20 litre container full of fuel on here. I know, risky. If it falls down, disaster. Put another 10 kgs, so 10 litres on top of that, so there's 30 on here, and then wrapped my arms over here and then tried to hang off it and Didn't want to go completely nuts with it. I didn't want to hurt my hand, and I didn't really want to break the wing, but we put another 50 kgs, I think it was, on there. So there was 80 kgs centering about here somewhere. So I don't think we're going to see, if we've got 80 kgs out just from this distance here, times that by the length of the wing, that's far in excess of what it's ever likely to develop, which according to my math is about 500 kgs at that angle at 300 k's an hour. That's with assuming this thing absolutely tapped out at 265 and a 35k an hour headwind. So realistically, it's probably going to do more like 400 kgs or something like that, depending on the angle that I set it at. The next thing I want to achieve with this, which I can't at the moment, it's too hard. See, look, this has got the old bloody slippers on. This is how much work I'm not doing, is I want to do the front splitter. There's probably enough carbon fibre left over from the wing, point to it correctly, and there's definitely enough foam sitting here ready to go. Would get into it, can't, too hard with the old saw paw. I can't get my fingers into the appropriate spots to undo things and stuff, and things too hard, just too hard, so it has to wait. Not to mention there's all customers' plethora of stuff to do. This would be in my time on the weekend when I get there, but this is fake carbon fibre here, and the vent and the piece down the bottom here, and so is actually all side skirts, but let's focus on something I might be able to achieve. It's a pretty simple shape, this here. If we're stuck real super long term and just can't get any real work done, that can be just taken off very, very easily, and just do a wet layup inside that. Boom, we can make that piece out of carbon fibre and start knocking out some of the weight out of the back of the car. This isn't really the ideal way to do this. It's just kind of an evolution of what started and where we're at now. Carbon fibre versus aluminium, typically, with the way I do it, which may or may not be right, we're seeing about a 50% weight loss. So like the rear wing, give or take 6 kgs, the new one is just a touch over 3. The vent on the bonnet there, I don't remember the exact numbers, ended up being half the weight. Pretty much everything I've done so far, except for the roof. The roof was crazy. The factory roof was, I believe, 8 kgs off the top of my head, and the one that's on there is barely above 800 grams. It weighs just nothing. It's way too thin, doesn't have any strength, but all it's there for is to keep the wind and the rain out of the cabin. It does that just fine. It's quite messy and could do with a redo one day, but other priorities, including the poor. The poor is the priority. Not that it's anyone's business. Occupational therapist is turning up tomorrow to have a look around at what I do, what tools I need to use, and how we're going to actually move forward with this, because we're kind of a bit stagnant. Picked up tools the other day and it turned to crap, so we don't want that. We want to be able to achieve things and move forward. So that's it. That'll do. Short video today. Thanks for watching. Cheers, boy.